Welcome to Modelo. I'm Phoebe, and I will be taking you through today's webinar. At its core, Modelo is a communication platform for the building industry. However, as an architect myself, Modelo offers so much more. As you know, the vast majority of our communication is visual. We build models, we make drawings, and we produce schedules. Modelo takes all this visual medium and gives you a platform that lets you communicate your vision so that you and your colleague can collaborate on and present your design, all in real time and in any web browser. There is no need to install any plugins or other applications. Modelo is compatible with Revit, Rhino, SketchUp, Vectorworks, 3ds Max, or any other models that can be exported into OBJ or FBX. Once uploaded, you can create design markups, add 3D comments, attach renderings, or assign tasks. You can create a walkthrough in and out of your design, explore design in 3D and virtual reality, and share it all with your client, with or without restricted view settings. So now let's get started.
Okay, looks like now we have a couple of more participants. So let's go ahead and start. Well, thank you very much for joining today's webinar. I'm going to share my screen, so I'm going to turn the video off. So you can message me any questions you have in this webinar. I'll introduce myself first. So my name is Phoebe, and I'm the Customer Success Manager at Modelo. I was an architectural designer for 4 years in New York, working both big and small firms, and did both commercial and institutional projects. So my role at Modelo is to help you succeed in using our application. You can ask me questions at any time. So you can use the question and answer button, and I will check this question and answer button here. So along my presentation, I'll try to answer questions along at different intersections. So today's webinar is designed for both new users and our experienced users, the Modelo. For new users, I think it's best for you to stay for the full webinar. I'm gonna go through a very quick introduction on what Modelo is and what you can use Modelo for. Then we'll be looking at some of the newest features that we just released in June. And then we'll do a very short product demo. So for our experienced users, you can focus on the part of the feature updates. Feel free to message me questions at any time. So I'll try to answer them as I finish that part. So to talk about our feature updates first, so we have just released a customized user control panel that lets you control what your collaborators can do and cannot do in the Modelo interface. And then we're going to see how now we can invite collaborators and how to invite clients in this new setting. We've also made some changes to our 3 different tiers of plans. So I will go through that as well. And now let's take a quick look at what Modelo is. So in my old job, I spent a lot of time building 3D models on a computer. Then I convert them into 2D images like plan sections, axon drawings, perspectives. I export them to PDF, and then make nice layout in Illustrator and InDesign, and then I email that to the client. So then they get back to us in marked up PDFs or sometimes hand sketches. So this process is very long, has a very slow turnaround. We're always waiting for feedback. And also, we spend the most amount of time modeling 3D. So why do we have to convert everything into 2D images so they can be converted to others? So our founders of Modelo, he and T, and who are also architects and industrial designers, they started Modelo as a platform to communicate 3D information as well as 2D information. It's a platform designed for all stakeholders in the building cycle. So there are top 3 things you can immediately use Modelo for. You can use Modelo to manage all your assets. Keep all the files and tasks organized in one place. Modelo integrates 3D and 2D information and create a quick and easy way to share them. And Modelo is really built for collaboration and presentation. It lets you stay on top of your design. You can provide design feedbacks at any times and on any device. You can also use Modelo to give your client an immersive experience into your design, get them excited by showing them walkthroughs and VRs. So Modelo can be used in all stages of design, not just for presentations in the SD phase, but for MEP coordination in the DD phase, and also in the CD phase, we're seeing a lot of contractors started using Modelo so they can check the architect's design intent on their phone, right on the job site. Let's take a look at how you can manage and share assets in Modelo. When it comes to file sharing, we use a variety of different applications, but there isn't one that is designed specifically just for our needs in the industry. So we've designed Modelo to integrate 3D and 2D information and with all of their revisions and feedbacks so that you can keep everything organized in one place. Essentially, Modelo is built for collaboration. You can use Modelo to create quick design markups and notify your collaborators. So this is a perfect tool for principals who spend a lot of time on the road. When you're on the road, you can be looking at a model in a car, rolling it around, drawing on it, commenting on it, and sending it back in real time. There are actually a lot of there's some design leads in some offices that refuse to look at a Rhino or Revit model anymore. They're only going to look at a Modelo model, and that's because Modelo is just really easy to navigate through it. So when it comes to immersive presentation, Modelo's walkthrough feature lets your client see your design as you envisioned it through your eyes, and it is really easy and intuitive to use. You simply drop points on the floor, set the view directions, and the system will automatically calculate a path between these points. Actually, one of our users from Karen Timberlake told us Modelo saves them time and effort because they can work longer up to the point of presentation, where otherwise they used to export views from Revit or try to set up walkthroughs that might take a long time to render. And I want to show you a comparison between looking at the same model in Rhino versus in Modelo. Our converter can pretty much convert a 300 megabyte Rhino model into 30 megabyte without losing any details in the geometric data and information. So it spins nicely in a browser. And we're very proud to say that we're one of the quickest applications on the market to turn your design into VR. We support iPhones and most Android phones. You can open the model in your browser, pretty much click one button, and then it turns into VR. So the rest is just pop into a Google Cardboard and you're good to go. So this is a very quick introduction to Modelo. And before we, so now we should get into some of our newest feature. Let me change my share screen setting real quick. Okay, so now I'm inside my Modelo account. Our newest feature is this thing called user permission settings. So it's actually sitting here if you click a profile avatar plan, and then you see here, customize permission settings. So basically, for any given projects, there are four roles for the project collaborators. It's the owner, the admin, the team member, and the client. And at this panel, you can customize the permissions for each role. You can toggle on and off different options for them, like deleting projects, creating projects, inviting people to projects, like edit and share. So our interface can look different depending on which role you're locked down. So let's take a look at owner first. The owner has control to everything. So pretty much from everything you're seeing now, and also to the billing control. I'm logged on as admin at the moment, so you don't see that. But if you're an owner, you'll see an extra bar that says billing, and you can toggle on and off for admins to have the billing control. So for admins, what you're seeing is actually, what you will be seeing is what you're seeing on my screen now. You pretty much have all of the same controls as the owner, except the billing. And both owners and admins have the control to edit the permission for team members and client. You can toggle their options on and off. If you want to avoid multiple team members create multiple projects folders for the same project, or to avoid them accidentally delete projects, I'll suggest you toggle these two options off, create and delete. But they will still be able to upload models to existing folders and do all of the edits they need. So for the team members, the interface might look slightly different. Let's save this. So when you're inside your project page, sometimes you don't see the delete button and you don't see the invite other people to the projects button. That's because like that option has been turned off for you. So the client is a new role we're introducing this month. The client cannot do any edits in your model, but they will have the option to share. Let's look at here. So meaning they can share the models with others, they can download and take reviews. I want to kind of show you what the client's interface looks like. So if I log out, and then I'll re-log on as client. So this is my client interface. I'm invited to this project. And in here, I don't see all of the assets. So I can see the models, but I can't see the assets folder. And also on the right, where there used to be a project wall and discussion panel for the team members and admins, I don't see that as well, because the project wall is really designed for internal communication. And let's get inside of a 3D model. So when you're inside a 3D model as client, you can see all of the comment card that's been created. You can also reply to them. You can also assign, like, tag different members. And as a client, you can see all of the walkthroughs that has been created. So let's go back to our default view first. And as a client, I see there has been 4 walkthroughs created, and I can view all of them. So being a client member, you can also play with the visual settings. You can change the different visual effects or change material color, but you won't be able to override the existing settings that the admins and team members have already made. You also have the option to access the toolbar, so which includes cut sections. It's very smooth. You can take measurements. So all of these tools are available for client. You can also, so our clients can reply to comments and clients can also make new comments. So at this part, I can also make new comments. So the client is mostly for viewing, and they have limited access to make communication. And now let's look at how we can invite collaborators. So that's only when you're an admin or team member or owner. So I want to go back to my admin account. So now I'm going back to my plan page. So when you're signing as an owner or admin, you will see a list of all of the project collaborators in your plan page. So including I have 20 team members and quite a lot of clients. So from here, you can adjust their different status from admin to team member or client. You have the option to add clients into company, or you can also add team members. So when you're inviting a client, when they first get this invitation and when they log in, they'll see that they're part of your company. But if you're only doing it here, they won't be able to see any projects. And what you need to do is, so after inviting them into the company, we'll need to invite them again into the project. So this is the button, this is the button that we're inviting specific people to the project. So now I've invited Modelo client as part of this. When Modelo client logs in, she will be able to see this project only, but not all of the other projects you have in the company. So essentially, this is actually a multi-login system. So from here, I can actually switch different accounts. I can see all of the projects I've been invited to, and also my own company where I created projects. So this is the pretty much see how you can do the different multi-login. And we've also made some changes to our different tiers of accounts. So the free accounts, the studio account, and the enterprise account. I want to talk a little bit about the changes. So let's start with the free account. So if you're using Modelo for free right now, you probably notice that there's the watermark background. So this background will pretty much be in all of the free projects, this one right here. So the only way to customize it is to upgrade. Like for our users, existing users, the way to customize background is here under settings. So now this button is disabled, and we'll have to upgrade first to be able to access this. But the free account is really designed for personal use. You can invite people as clients, so you can still share. You can still share the button and then invite them into projects, but they just won't be able to make any edits. And I know many of you starting Modelo with a free account, then upgrade to Studio Enterprise. So when you upgrade, Modelo will create a new paid account under the same login. So this is how we're seeing earlier. So right after you upgrade, you'll be able to see your free account and then your paid account here. So now I switch to my paid account. And let's see how we can customize the background. So now I'm going back to the project I was in earlier. We have actually released a couple of new presets background. So from here, you can use one of our presets background. You can also upload your own image and do it from there. So you can set it to rectangular or sphere. And of course, I always have the option to turn it on and off. And for enterprise customers, we have improved a lot on our offline link share. So essentially, the offline model link is a tool that lets you download your Modelo presentation into your computer. So then it's sitting in the computer and you can access it anytime. You don't have to worry about the internet settings at your presentation location or even waiting around for the presentation to load. So when this is loading your computer, I can pretty much turn off my internet and then show all of the same thing. I can show all my walkthroughs. I still have access to all of my comment cards. And I also have the tool to sections as well. So the section part is actually something new we just released for the offline feature. And also we improve a lot on the measuring tool. I didn't get to show you a little bit detail earlier. So our new measuring tool lets you measure the distance between any 2 points, and it doesn't have to be parallel to each other. So all you need to do is pretty much just click on 2 points. They don't have to be parallel, and you can check their distance between the X, Y, Z direction here. So this is very easy to use. So for now, I think I've covered most of the new feature updates. So let's see if I got any questions. And I also want to do, so before I jump into our product demo, which I know I don't have much time now, I want to learn a little bit about what brought you to Modelo and what features you're looking for so I can focus on this presentation. So I'm launching this poll, and please let me know your answer. Okay, I see some people are looking for VR. And being file transfers, presentation tool. Actually, like I see all different results. Okay, I'm still getting more answers. I'll just wait for another 15 seconds. I see a question. I see a question. Oh, I see a couple of questions. So would you mind go over the new Revit functionality, section boxes, etc.? Well, from Revit to Modelo, it's pretty much yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that later in the product demo. And I see another answer. It says, what's the model size limit? The model size limit is really depending on what kind of plan you have. So if you have a free account, I believe is 100 megabytes. And then for student users is 750 megabytes. And then for our enterprise user is unlimited. And there's another question. The question is, when downloading for offline viewing, will the model expire and can the model be reused or exported? So it does not expire. Let me show you a little bit here. You can clear it off. So this one here, it says offline storage in your computer. You have the option to clear the storage, and when you clear, it's gone. It's actually a cache data in the computer, so you can always come back to it as long as it's stored and you don't clear, but you won't be able to export into other formats. So I'm gonna go back a little bit on the Revit functions like now. So we definitely see a lot of VR function. I will make sure I go through that, and the presentation and the collaboration. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you very much for answering the poll. So I want to start with just a very quick bit on the Modelo interface structure. So we know how to navigate through everything. When you log on, the first thing you see is your project page. So then you get into your projects, you'll see the models, assets, project overview, and team members. So the models is where you put all of your 3D models. So they're organized into folders. This is the folder, and then you have a quick preview of all of the models and a quick access into the 3D. And assets is where you put all of other information. So all your plan sections and your renderings. And all of these, you always have the option to mark up on them, to share, and to download. I mentioned earlier, the project wall is where you can add different people. You can hashtag specific model and the design issues in this model. You can also paste URLs, and it generates a preview. When we're inside a folder, now you get a thumbnail of each model that's inside a folder. You have the option to view the updates. You can quickly access the model into the 3D environment. You can share the model. So this one, actually, you can share it to an external member, and they will get a link to download the original model. And you can download the model right into your computer, and of course, do all the edits and updates. So when we click into the view updates, so this is the page where all of the 3D common cards reviews are stored. So you can access the different conversations that have been happened in this model without even going into the 3D. It's a very quick way to access, and you can also mark up from right here. From there, it lets you to access all of the markup functions. So which are the text bubbles, the different text. So this is pretty much the structure, and I want to show you this presentation, so which will cover a lot from Revit to Modelo. So this is a quick presentation I created from a Revit model. Let me change one thing really quick here. So from Revit to Modelo, you can pretty much import all of your multiple views. So all of the orange ones you're seeing here are the Revit views. We can attach renderings to that as well. So Modelo also knows how to grab the link models. So if your structural model is linked into your architecture model, you can separate them. So you can put them onto different work sets and then separate them in Modelo. And also Modelo knows how to carry over different settings. So say if this is not the first upload you're doing a second upload, but you want to copy paste the 3D common cards you did in your first model. So then all of that, when you see the Modelo plugin, you will have the options to do that. So a lot of people definitely into the 3D common cards. So let's go through that really quick. So to be able to make a 3D comment, it's really easy. Like we see here, this is the panel. You have the option to add comments, add views. You can reorder, you can do like different filters. So in the middle section are the cards. Pretty much all you need to do is choose the point of view and then create a comment on it. So a card will automatically generate on the bottom. And also here the add view button is similar. So this add view button, it generates a view without creating an orange dot earlier, like how we did earlier. So like I want to do this again. So you see this one will create an orange dot. So to specify which area we're talking about, well, the add view will now create the orange dot. And after you're created all of your presentation, So setting up is really easy. The 3D comment cards doubled as a way to navigate through your presentation. You can add renderings to your view earlier, like how I showed you earlier. You can use a rendering from your assets folder, and you can also add different product information as well. So every model has its default setting as designed originally. You can create design options, change display style, so make section cuts and save these to your view. So let's see how we can do the section. After we're done with the section, it's the same thing. We can then add a view to it. Actually, I just turned off my section. Let me do it again. I can do hide, and then I'll create a view and name it section cut. So the 3D comment cards remembers all of its current settings. This is a comment card I created earlier without a section cut, and then I created another one with a section cut. So let's look at our visual settings. In the visual settings, you have layer, effects, material, and background. So the layers is similar to work sets in Revit. If you're in Revit, all of your work sets will be displayed here. And for SketchUp and Rhino users, you'll see all your layers here. You can toggle them on and off. So these are not created in Modelo. Modelo takes whatever you have in your native softwares. And effects. So let me show you earlier how I did my elevations. So I can create plans like site plans. I can also do regular plans. I can attach a plan and export it from Revit. And I can also turn my plan into the architect style. So the button is actually sitting right here. This is how we toggle on and off between the default shaded plan to the architect's effect. Within the architect's effect, you can also change the sun settings. So I can change the lighting latitude and longitude to adjust my shadow. I can do minor adjustment on the pen details and in contrast. And when you're on the perspective view, you can also change the field of depth. So for materials, in Modelo, we can also change different color of material. It's very easy to use. Pretty much just grabs on whatever material you want to change, and then drag this color wheel. So background is something we just mentioned about earlier with our updates. So this is why the 3D comment cards are very much perfect for your presentation. When we want to create a better in-person presentation, we design this thing called a present mode. So to make everything run smoothly, you pretty much just click on the present button, and you can toggle up and down using the arrow key. So this lets you go through all the comment cards faster. And also by toggling left and right, which we're seeing here, we'll be able to access all of the attachment we've assigned to the cards. So you can use the comment cards as a preparation for internal presentation, and then cherry pick some of these out for client presentation. To make this process very quick and easy, we designed this feature called Client Ready for you. You can click the Client Ready button on each comment card when the view is ready to be presented to the client. And when doing an in-person presentation, we can use the filter key to select the client cards, to select the client ready cards only. So, and pretty much hit the present button and we'll be ready to go. Now let's take a look at how we can share. So I'm gonna adjust my screen a little bit. And let me check a few questions. So is the service available in the EU? Where is your cloud storage located? We're actually using Amazon. So it's available worldwide. We have users pretty much all over the globe at the moment. So from Europe and also from Australia and New Zealand. So let's take a look at how we can share. When you're sharing, you have a lot of options to choose here. So first is the URL link. You can copy and paste this link and send it to anyone. So on your email, by text message, you can also directly enter their email. So we have the option to show walkthrough, like to show the client ready cards only, to hide the common details, and also to turn the restricted view. So the restricted view is something like you're viewing like a first person. So you can look up and down, like look left and right, but you won't be able to pan to a different area of the design. Like now I'm in my preview link. So this is my share token link. I can look left, right, up and down, but I can't zoom in and out or pan to a different place. So it's a perfect tool for sending it to a client when you don't want them to go to an area where you haven't finished off modeling, or you want more time to polish off on details. So this is everything about share, and I know some of you also mentioned walkthrough, so I'll do a quick walkthrough before I jump into VR. The walkthrough is a very easy feature you can do in Modelo. So let me play an existing walkthrough first. This one you'll see climbs upstairs into the building and then go down a level. So to make this walkthrough is very easy. We just need to click the plus button and then drop our first point. From there, we'll be able to set our view direction. And pretty much just drop your next point and then the next point. And then click the play button. We can also minimize the window here. The system drops a point and automatically calculates a eye level height. So when you're hitting up the stairs and down the stairs, it knows how to go up and down. We have a lot of tutorials on how to create walkthrough. So if you want to know more about creating walkthrough, definitely can check out our video tutorials. So I want to quickly show you the VR because I know this is one of the most interesting topics. So if you can see my video, when you're on your phone, so whether it's iPhone, Android, you can either use Chrome, Safari, or use our Modelo app. We've actually learned Safari is very good. So now I'm loading up the model at the moment. Now I'm inside my projects. So I can click View 3D, and this will load into the 3D environment. So when you are in a mobile device, you can do VR. So VR is a mobile feature only, but you can reply to all the markups and so you can reply to comments and do markups on a mobile device. So now I'm inside. I'm using a Huawei phone, so it's a Huawei P9. When you're here, you actually see there's a button here that says VR. So before we start this, I want to make sure my screen will rotate. So I'll turn on auto rotate. I'll turn off screen lock in iPhone. So when I'm ready, I turn on this, and I just rotate my screen. So now I am in the VR mode. So like I want to turn on this again. We're inside a model. Sometimes you're not seeing the model here right now because when we're inside the 3D, there's a view direction. The model actually happens to be here. So I have to turn my screen here to see the model. But when you're inside, we just need to drop the phone into a Google Cardboard. And this is ready to go. So on a Google Cardboard, or if you have one of our Modelo cardboard, you'll see a button here. So when you click here, it will generate a tab on the screen, and then that's how you go to the next card. So this is pretty much all for VR. It works on most of the devices, and you don't need to use the app. Just send the URL, like the share token. The other person can just pull it up and do the VR from there. So let me see if I have more questions. Yes. The question is, the layers in Modelo takes a workset from Revit. Does it somehow takes the options from Revit? Yes, it does. So when we're using Revit, we do design options, and then we save these options as views. So what Modelo does, if you organize your design options into views, Modelo will take the views. Actually, I can show you right here. So in this one, you see here, I have a kitchen option 1 and kitchen option 2. So these are the options I created from Revit and then created views and then imported the views. So option 1 and option 2. Okay, do we have more questions? Okay, thank you. So I want to ask you another question before we finish. So we had a very quick demo of the features in Modelo. So I want to know if you would like to attend another webinar, so which will do more details in how to use Modelo and also according to user groups. So like a Revit to Modelo and Rhino to Modelo, SketchUp to Modelo, and Vectorworks to Modelo. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, we're still getting answers. Okay, I'm gonna end this one right here. So, and I have another question. So since we talk about we're gonna focus on user groups, I wanna know what software you're using now. Okay, nice. We see a lot of Revit and SketchUp. So for the next few weeks, we're gonna do a little bit more detailed webinars for these for different user groups. Thank you. I also see ArchiCAD. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for attending my webinar. And I hope to, so if you have any questions in using Modelo, so feel free to reach out to us, but definitely reach out to us for any questions. So we have help button inside, and we also have a very complete knowledge base where you can find under, so if you go to homepage and go to bottom of the screen, you'll find a learning center and FAQ. Again, thank you very much. Hope this has been helpful.